Gaza has had a massive effect on British politics in a way that nobody would have predicted 5-10 years ago, in that it shaped the election results last year because of the failure of Labour and the Tories to effectively call for a ceasefire when they could and they should have done. The government has now been forced into recognising Palestine, a campaign that many of us have supported for many years. And it means that the people that have come together, we've now had 30 national protests. I calculate that well over 2 million people have taken part in some form of protest about Gaza in the past 2 years. They've become a sort of political force of their own. And on October the 11th, we're holding a huge national march and demonstration in support of the people of Palestine. So it's quite interesting that the injustice of the Palestinian people and the horrors of the genocide and the killing have actually become a catalyst for political change, not just in Britain, but in France, in Germany, in Italy. General strike in Italy in support of Palestinian workers. Would that have happened 5 years ago? Would it have happened 10 years ago? No.
I think the UK government's response has been pathetic when it comes to Gaza. I think the UK government has been complicit in the genocide in Gaza. They've supplied arms to Israel. The RAF have done spy flights over Gaza to give intelligence to the government of Israel. They've trained IDF soldiers, the British. So they are steeped in complicity. So will that change the political makeup? Will it change the government? I'm not sure, but I certainly know that the UK Labour Party, the support for the UK Labour Party is collapsing entirely. And my worry is that if that collapses, that Reform will come to become the next party of government. And they are, of course, driven by a man who has made statements against Muslims for many, many years indeed. Well, the so-called Your Party, which is led by Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, it seems to be the only party that has collapsed before it's even launched. So I'm afraid the problem with many parties on the left, and I consider myself to be somebody on the left, the problem with so many parties on the left is they cannot stop fighting each other. And there's a much bigger problem to tackle that we have to come together, and that is the rise of the far right. I think the far right is the biggest danger, not just to the Muslim community, but the biggest threat that Western liberal democracies face. Because although Muslims are the target today, tomorrow the target will be you. It will be other people next. And we know that when the far right gets into power, they don't care about democracy. They don't care about any democratic process. All they want to do is create a society where people look like them. And they don't care what the consequences are for democracy. Well, listen, what I would say is don't worry, I'm still going to be a very strong voice against the rise of the far right, standing up for issues of justice globally, including, of course, the issue of Gaza and Palestinian rights, but many other issues as well. And sometimes you can be even more free to speak about these issues when you're not quite in Parliament or as part of government. So I promise you I'll still keep speaking out. And who knows, maybe I'll return to politics one day.
I think whatever happens in the coming few weeks, I think we need to stand back and think what's going to happen at next May's set of elections. And what's going to happen at next May's set of elections is that the anger with the Keir Starmer government will be much greater than any of the rows in your party, that the anger over Palestine will be much greater than any of the arguments in the new party, that millions of people will go to the polls, they will be very angry with the government and they won't want to vote for Keir Starmer, they will be distressed at the far right chauvinism of Farage and indeed of the current Tory party, and they will be looking for an alternative. And that alternative, even if it's weaker than we would want it to be, even if it's more argumentative than we will want it to be, it will be more successful at the next set of elections